What's up everybody, it's Matt from Peter Glenn, and in this video we're going to show you how to set up the Nidecker Supermatic bindings, not just on your board, but more importantly, get all the straps and everything adjusted right so they fit your boots properly. Let's check this out. So if you're not sure what the Supermatics are, it is a Nidecker binding that looks like most of the other bindings in their lineup, except for it has one big feature where the high back can release and fold back, so you can get in and out of them without having to actually touch the straps. Setting them up is very similar to setting up your standard bindings, but there are a few things that you should know to make sure that they're micro adjusted and they're set up just right so you can get in and out of them easily. So getting these things mounted to the board is very similar to just about any other binding on the market. We've got this little screw down here on the foot pad. You undo that and slide the foot bed out. And then we're going to mount it to the board with their offset multi-disc. And this thing is pretty cool. It obviously will fit on any 4x4, 4x2 hole pattern. They do have the holes, so you can set it up on any board that does have the channel. And it even has this extra slot right here, so if you do have one of those old Burton boards with the 3D pattern, you can still get these on there. But again, mounting these things is just like any other binding, and we'll leave a link in the description down below to a video about mounting to the 4x4 and mounting to the channel, just in case you have any questions about that. But the one thing to note about this disc is how it is offset. So the Supermatic binding does have a unibody base plate and heel loop where it's all one piece. So getting your foot centered up is very important. So this disc, if you're mounting it on the 4x4, 4x2, we're going to want these slots going toe to heel so you can properly center your foot up. Now, one thing about it is if you do look at the disc, you'll notice that these slots are not in the center of the binding. They're shifted to one side. So what's nice is when you do have a board with a 4x2, like most boards on the market have, you do get a lot of places you can put it side to side. But the nice thing with this is that you can turn it around 180 degrees, and now it's actually shifted a little bit. So now we can move the bindings a little bit this way or a little bit this way on each insert, which gives you even more stance options to get that width finely tuned. Likewise with the channel, that is offset. So you'll notice that there is a centering mount for the channel, but there also is one more hole kind of shifted to the side. So you can shift the binding back, or if you have a smaller foot and you need to shift the binding forward, you can spin it around and move it forward. But again, very important things to know about this disc in particular compared to all the other discs. But like I said, getting it mounted other than that is basically exactly the same as any other binding on the market. So now that we have the binding mounted to the board and that's ready to ride, the next most important thing is to make sure that we have the straps adjusted properly around our boot. Now this is very important to do with just a regular set of bindings, but it's super important to do with these specific bindings, as not only it aids in the performance, but it aids in the getting in and out of the binding easily. So for this video, I'm gonna do it with the raw boot, but when you do this at home, I highly suggest that you put your foot in your boot, lace it up exactly like you would as if you're gonna go riding, because we wanna make sure that these straps are adjusted perfectly to the boot with your foot in it. So once you've got your foot inside the boot, you're gonna go ahead and pop it in the binding just like you would as if it was a standard everyday strap binding. And we're gonna go ahead and get these ratcheted down nice and snug. Now, if you're finding that you're trying to pull on the ratchet and it's not going, the ratchets do have this little flip lock on top that helps lock it in. It's just another little safety measure to make sure everything stays snug while you're riding. But if you have that thing locked down, it can be a little hard to ratchet it. So flip that thing up so you can see a little bit of red on the side, and then you'll be able to ratchet the straps down, no problem. But get both of those set exactly like you would on a regular binding. We want to make sure that the strap is centered up on your foot, the ankle strap here, and we want to make sure that that toe strap, again, just like a regular binding, make sure that that is centered up. And these are very easy to do. They have a flip lock on the side here that you can just flip open and slide it to exactly where you need it, and then lock it down. Now, once you have that locked down and that boot is nice and ratcheted snug around your foot, not too tight, again, make sure that the center of the strap is on the center of your boot, both toe and ankle. And then from there, we have this extra little piece on the side here that kind of comes off of the ankle strap and goes down to the toe strap. Now, this piece does have a little flip lock on it, and it is very easy to adjust. But the one thing about that is we don't want to adjust that tight. That is not there to hold your foot into the boot. That is actually there to help hold the strap open a little bit to make it a little easier to get in and out and basically keep that ankle strap up. So what we're gonna do is, I say kind of take your pinky maybe and stick it underneath the strap in between the boot and that strap, and then go ahead and adjust it so it is snug. We do want a little bit of a gap in there. If you do have that adjusted too tight, it's gonna hold the ankle strap down too far and make it a little harder to get in and out of the binding. But again, a little bit of gap underneath there is perfect. All right, now once you've got all three of those straps adjusted, now you're pretty much ready to ride. All you need to do is push down on the lever and lean forward, and that's gonna go ahead and disengage the system. It clips down in the back here, and then you can slide your foot out. And then obviously when you need to get your foot back in, you just slide it in nice and easy and step down on the heel, and it will click right in. The one thing I tell a lot of people too is, when you first get these bindings and you do get them all adjusted, get them all set like you're ready to ride, spend a little bit of time just in your living room, in your garage, wherever, set the board on something where it's not gonna damage the bottom of your board, and practice getting in and out of the bindings. Practice pushing down, lifting up the toe, and really just get that set to the point where you can get in and out of it easily. It's not a hard thing to do, but there can be certain things that if you're twisting wrong, or if you're not standing up on your toe properly, it can make it a little weird at first, but you will learn it really, really fast. And then on top of that, if you have your ratchets set too tight, it can make it a little bit harder to get in and out of the binding. But again, figure all that stuff out and get all that little micro adjustments done. Literally can be one little tooth on the ladder strap can be the difference between getting in and out of these bindings super easy. It's just better to do this at home, get it all set, and then that day one when you're out in the snow, you're in and out of your bindings super fast and having a great day riding. All right, so hopefully that helps you out a little bit and helps you get these things set up just right for that day one of riding. I've ridden these things and they ride exactly like a regular binding. When you're riding, you have no idea that they're an easy in and out binding. And then again, getting in and out of them is just as easy as putting your foot in and stepping straight down on your heel, and you're ready to ride. But if you have any questions about these or any of the other products that we have at peterglenn.com, definitely leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer those questions. We wanna make sure we can get you into some rad gear, but most importantly, we wanna make sure that it's gonna fit you and it's gonna fit your specific riding style. Also make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And head on over to Peter Glenn and grab yourself a pair of the Nidecker Supermatic bindings, get them mounted up, and get out and ride. Because any day of riding is a good day of riding.